There we are, recording now. So, so today, as my note said, today we're going to look at the back body muscles, or the muscles of the back body. So just a quick repeat. So that's obviously our calves, our hamstrings, our glute muscles, our lower, middle and upper back predominantly. And that's where we're sort of going to be focusing some of our attention today. Let me just put the music on pause a moment, so I'm not having to compete with that. There you go, that's a bit better. Yes, because generally, as my notes say, generally we tend to focus a lot on the front body muscles, particularly in yoga. We do a lot of push action, don't you know, like downward facing dog and plank. And so that's all the sort of push actions and sort of engages a lot of the front body muscles. And we also do a lot of opening of the front body, you know, which is lovely and we really need, because we do tend to spend a lot of our time sort of rounding and hunching inwards. We don't do it on purpose, of course, but it just tends to happen. So those big openers are really lovely just to stretch everything back out. But we don't do an awful lot to sort of strengthen the back body. And really, as my note said, the back body is where we get a lot of our power, a lot of the power to sort of propel us forward and support the front body. So, you know, whenever you're walking, you know, you're using the back body muscles to sort of propel you forward whenever you're climbing stairs, and whenever you're sitting, you know, you get up and down from the seat, that's all the back body muscles. And of course, if we're a little bit weak on the back body, then that's when we start to get some injuries. So it's really good idea to sort of strengthen the back body, so to support the work the front body has to do. So with that in mind, let us come onto our mats. I'm just gonna, it doesn't look like Marsley and Sharon are joining us today, so hopefully they won't pop on too late. But anyway, let's get back onto our mats. We are going to start in a child's pose, and if you're happy to have your legs wide and to rest your chest and belly between your thighs, that would be perfect. So big toes touching, knees wide, sit back and stretch the arms forward. And if you can, rest the forehead on the ground, or if you need to bring one arm back and rest the forehead on that arm, then that's also a good option. But we're just going to start by stretching through the back body, or the back, I should say, not the back body, but just particularly the back muscles. With the arms stretched down in front of you, with the palms turned down, elbows just relax down to the ground so there's no stiffness in the shoulders. And just let your sitting bones and your hips grow nice and heavy and sink towards your feet. And gradually you might find over a few seconds that your belly and your rib cage just starts to fall a little closer towards the ground. So already beginning just to gently stretch and create some space in our back. Now I'd like you to try and direct your in-breath into the back of your body. So as you take a breath in, direct it into the back of the ribs. So you inflate the rib cage, and then exhale, of course, let that breath go through your nose or mouth. And when you're ready, inhale again through the nose, nice and slow, directing it into the back of the ribs. And then let that breath go. And just get a nice easy rhythm going now with your breath, continuing to breathe into the back of your body. Now we have a great amount of our lungs in the back of the rib cage. So if you can breathe into the back of your lungs, into the back of your ribs, that inhalation, that inflation of the lungs is just helping to stretch out any little tightness that you might be feeling in the mid and upper back. So you use your breath just to help create a little bit of space and to stretch out any little pockets of tension. Just take another 3 slow deep breaths in and out here. It's a nice way just to gently lengthen the spine after sleeping for 7 or so hours, where our spine is shortened a little bit. This is a nice way just to very gently wake it up in the morning. And then after your next breath out, walk your hands back towards you So you're going to come and sit on your heels, and you might want to bring the knees together if that's more comfortable for you. But we're just going to start with the hands on your knees or on the top of your thighs, and drop the chin to your chest and just let your head drop forward here. So we just start with a little stretch through the back of the neck and into the upper back muscles, these trapezius muscles that run from the base of the neck across the top of the shoulders. So just let your head hang down. Still taking those lovely slow deep breaths. So if you haven't already started your Ujjayi breath, then now would be a good time to do this. Just letting the weight of the head fall forward, just to help stretch out against any tightness in your neck. One more deep breath in and out, the head dropping towards the chest. And then taking this just a little bit deeper, lift your head back up again. We're going to interlock the fingers and bring the fingers or the palms onto the back of your skull. And then take a deep breath in once again. And then as you exhale again, drop the chin to the chest and begin to draw the elbows towards one another. So the elbows point down towards your knees and round through your spine a little bit more now. So we're not pressing down heavy on the head, we're just resting the hands lightly on the back of the head. And gradually, again, over a few breaths, you might find that the elbows start to get a little closer towards the legs. But don't force it, just let gravity take hold and let the weight of those arms slowly begin to deepen the stretch along the back of your neck and into the mid and upper back. Still taking those lovely slow deep breaths. And then one more breath in and out. Lovely. Now bring the hands onto the ground. Very gently lift the head back up. We're going to come onto all fours. So walking the hands forward, knees underneath hips, so knees are hip width apart, hands underneath shoulders with the fingers spread nice and wide. And just soften the elbows just a little bit so we don't lock out the joints. And we're just going to take the body through a few rounds of cat-cow. So when you're ready in your own time, drop your belly, lift the gaze as you inhale, shoulder blades slide away from your neck. And as you exhale, round and tuck everything under. So chin towards chest, tailbone towards the thighs, and press into the hands so you just have that really great stretch across the upper back. And then again, when you're ready, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze on the inhalation. Exhale, round and tuck under. Now do another 4 or 5 of those nice and slow. And if you feel like you want to stop and hold one of these stretches a little bit longer because it just feels like you need to this morning, then just hold it there. So just listening to what your body needs today. Again, this is just such a really good move for our spines first thing in the morning. Just getting a little bit of space along the front vertebrae, the front axes, so opening up through the front vertebrae as you look up. And then of course opening all the way along the back vertebrae as you tuck and look under. Now on your next cat pose, that's where you're tucking, looking under, just hold it there for a little bit longer. So look back towards your thighs or towards your belly, press into the hands and puff your upper back up to the ceiling. Let your head just drop between the arms or towards the floor. Tuck the tailbone between the thighs and just have a really good stretch through the upper back. Just taking a few breaths here as we just hold this stretch for a couple of breaths. And then come and find a neutral spine, a nice flat back, tabletop position. Okay, so keeping the body in this tabletop shape, we're just going to nudge your rib cage from side to side. So you just pop the ribs over to the left, just opening out along each of the intercostal muscles that run between the rib cage. And then pop the ribs over to the right. And then again to the left. Just see if you can edge them over so you feel a lovely little stretch coming down the side of the ribs. And then over again to the right. Again, these are little areas we don't tend to move in everyday life. So they do hold a little bit of tension because we don't get to open it very often. And once again to your right. Then we just do one more on each side. So popping the ribs to the left. Oh, and then once again to the right. It's amazing where we hold tension, isn't it? And then come back to center again to tabletop position. Now we're going to do a little bit of work just to sort of activating the glutes now. The glutes are a major powerhouse for the body. And if we tend to have weak glutes, then it's very often that we have knee and also lower back problems because we haven't got the power in the glutes to support the movements above and below the glutes. It ends up that the lower back and the knees end up taking more work or more strain because the glutes aren't there to support them. So we're going to do a little bit of glute activation. So starting in this tabletop position, extend your right leg straight out behind you and square your hips up here. So the right hip is not higher than the left. There's no twist in your back. Try and square the hips up. I think you know what you need to do there. So I'm going to have my back toes, my right toes pointing down because I find that just helps me get my hips a little bit more in order. And then make sure, of course, that the lower belly is lifting back up into the lower back so we have that support there. Now, keeping the right leg where it is, let's lift the left arm straight out in front of us. Plug that left arm back into the shoulder so you're not overextending through the left shoulder. So just draw the left arm back into the shoulder. Left palm is facing inwards. Now you may have found when you lifted that left arm that maybe your belly switched off, but we want to turn the belly back on again so we keep that lovely strong center to support this deep stretch from the left fingers to the right heel. You're looking straight down to the ground, the neck is nice and long. Just take another couple of breaths in and out here. So can you notice which of your muscles are working right now, which your back body muscles have switched on? Just one more breath, this spinal balance. And then keep the leg where it is, but lower the left hand down to the ground. So right leg stays where it is. Keep the tummy lifting up towards the spine, because very simply now we're going to do 20 little pulses, lifting that right leg up and down just a couple of inches each time. Just gently pulsing up and down, 20 little pulses. So keeping the neck nice and long, looking down to the ground and tummy still lifting up to the lower back, gently pulsing the heel up and down towards the ceiling. Again, you're noticing straight away, of course, that the glute muscles are switching on right now. Well, hopefully you've noticed yours are. Just another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep the leg where it is. We're just going to bend the right knee so the foot comes up to the ceiling, little right angle now. Keeping the tummy lifted, then 10 pulses, pressing the heel up to the ceiling. Just 10 little pulses. So we're not sort of swinging that leg wildly around, just pressing the heel up and back towards the ceiling. Keeping the tummy strong so we're not rocking through the hips too much. So now we're working a little bit on the hamstring on the right leg, back of your thigh. And then one more. Pulsing up and down. Now bring the right knee down alongside the left. I just wanted to start by waking up the glutes a little bit so we can use them for the rest of the session. So the right knee is now down next to the left. I'm just going to turn to face you. You stay where you are. But this time I'm going to take that right knee up to the side. So the right knee up to the right hand side, little dog leg. And then lower it back down. We're going to do that 10 times, but very slowly. So I really want you to really engage these side glutes now. That's the gluteus medius as you lift that leg up slowly and then lower it back down. So don't just swing it up and down too fast. Very slow and deliberate, lifting it up and then coming down. And just have a little pause when you lift that knee up at the top. So just a short pause and then lower it back down. Again, keeping the belly engaged, switched on, so we always use the core just to help support and stabilize the hips and the pelvis. Lifting the knee up again and lower back down. Just another 3, Maybe already your glutes are feeling pretty warm. And I don't know about you, but I also feel the glutes on my left leg are also working a little bit as well. And then just one more time. Lift your knee up to the sides. Lovely, lower the knee back down. Just going to turn back to where I was before. And then we're going to lift both knees up and coming into downward facing dog. And in down dog, if you want to have a little pedal through the feet, but let's just do a very slow pedal. So you have a chance just to really stretch out the calf and the back of the opposite leg. So very slowly, just lifting the heels up and down. Fingers spread nice and wide, so you distribute the upper body weight over the widest area possible on your hands. Pressing down gently through the base of each finger and thumb. Lovely, just one more time, one more little pedal on both sides. And then drop both heels towards the ground. It doesn't matter if they don't touch, but just let the heels drop down and lift up all 10 toes. So you should feel your calves having a little stretch out here as you lift up all 10 toes. So getting into the Achilles heel, the back of the ankle, and of course just stretching through the calf. Just another couple of breaths. And then lower all 10 toes towards the ground. Lovely. Now lift the right leg up to the sky and then step that foot all the way forward between the hands. And if it gets stuck halfway on the mat, just take hold of the right foot and give it a little helping hand forward. And then let's lower the back knee down to the ground. Lovely. Drop your hips forward, so just open out through the left hip flexor. Oh, that also feels good. I always find the first time I do this in the morning, it's like, oh yeah, I needed this. And then glide the hips back. Lift the front toes up, so again, just opening up the back of the hamstring on that right leg. And then sliding forward with the hips, just saying hello again to the left hip. Opening up through that left hip window. And then sliding back with the hips, lift the right toes up, really edge your hips back and lengthen your head or your spine forward so you get a lovely deep stretch along that right leg. And then just one more time, bring the hips forwards, open through the left hips. Oh, feels good, feels good. And then gliding back, lift the front toes. Now let's just hold this here for a couple of breaths. You can bend that right knee a little bit if that feels more comfortable for you today. But so lengthen through the spine to feel the crown of the head reaching forwards. But don't overstretch. This isn't about sort of going right to the very edge. You sort of explore around the edge, but then you just back off a little bit. You just back off a little bit. So you always kind of keep some in reserve. One more breath in and out. Lovely. And then bring the hips forward, front foot down on the floor, and then press your hands up onto your right thigh so you come up to a kneeling position. And so we're having our hips stacked over, shoulders stacked over the hips, or not leaning forward. We've got the shoulders stacked over the hips. Now press down through that right foot, the front foot. This is like your anchor. It really helps to bring some stability into the body, because then when you lift your arms up, and then going to hold onto the left wrist with your right hand and lengthen up through both sides of the waist. So feel your rib cage floating up. We want to lengthen through those back muscles. And then lean to your right. Leaning to your right. So there's a lovely deep stretch down the side body, but also into the back. Now, if you want to, you can always place the right hand back on that right leg if you prefer a little bit of extra support. Or particularly, of course, if you are nursing any injuries in your back and you just need to give support to your back. Keep pressing down through that right foot. One more breath. Lovely. Lift the arm back up. Bring the palms together, so open the palms out, so I meant to say, and then bring the hands back down towards the floor. Alrighty, step back into downward facing dog. Press the heels down towards the ground. Hips lifting up towards the sky as the heels press down. One more breath, just stretching all the way along the back of the body. And then placing both knees down on the ground. So coming back to that spinal balance that we did on the right leg, let's lift the left leg straight out behind you, toes pointing down so you can square your hips up and tummy lifting up towards the spine. And then extend the right arm forwards. See if you can bring your bicep by your ear. Again, plugging the arm back into the shoulder so we're not overstretching through the shoulder joints. Tummy lifting up. And looking straight down to the ground. So the back of the neck is in line with the spine. We're not dropping the head. So again, just notice which of your muscles have switched on to hold you here in this position. One more slow deep breath. And then lowering the right hand back down to the ground, keep the left leg where it is. And do those 20 little pulses. So keeping the tummy lifted, just lifting that left leg up and down, 20 little pulses. So switching on again the gluteus maximus, the biggest of our glute muscles. We have 3 glute muscles, maximus, medius, and minor, I think it is. Makes sense. It's like Goldilocks and the 3 bears, daddy bear, baby bear, and mummy bear. So little pulses just to wake up the biggest glute muscle. This is the one, of course, that powers us when we walk up hills, when we go upstairs, when we get up and down off of chairs. Just another 5 little pulses. 3, 2, 1. Well done. Bend the knees. So now the left foot is pointing up towards, or the left sole of the foot is flat towards the ceiling. Make sure the tummy is still lifted up to the spine. And then 10 little pulses with that foot. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, nearly there, 2, and 1. Now lower the left knee down alongside the right. And then that little dog lift out to the side. So lifting the left knee out to the side, just a little pause at the top, and then lower the left knee back down. Again, left knee lifting, and pause. So tummy is still switched on. Just moving through this relatively slowly, because now we're using, so the gluteus medius, the middle glute muscle that tends to sit mainly in the mid part of our bottom. Hence why taking the leg out to the side, this adductor movement switches on that particular glute muscle. Just another 3. Just remember that little pause at the top. So it's not just all hip action. We are actually using the muscle here to hold the leg before you lower. And I think this is probably the last one. Lovely, bringing that knee down, great stuff. Tuck the toes under again. Lift the knees up, finding your downward facing dog. Lovely, pressing the heels towards the earth. Even if the heels don't touch, drop the heels down, and even if you need to have the knees bent a little bit, feel free to bring that little bend in. But I'd just like you, just for the last couple of breaths here, to lift your hips up and back. So we're aiming to get as much length as you can through your spine, whilst your rib cage and your belly still keeps lifting up towards the back of your body. So the hips lift up and back. Can you feel that lovely long line along your spine? So stretching through the spine. Ah, lovely. Okay. Now lift the left leg up towards the sky, and then step that foot all the way forward between the hands, and then lower the back knee down to the ground. And again, just let the hips drop forward to be open through the right hip flexors. And then glide the hips back, front toes lifting. Inhale, coming forwards. And exhale back. Again, coming forwards. And it just feels so nice just to open up these areas that we tend to have closed so much, particularly as we sit so often. Of course, we shorten the front of the body or the front hip flexors when we sit. And then last time, coming forwards. And then taking the hips back, let's just hold them back for a couple of breaths. You lift the front toes up, and so you can always bend that left knee a little bit if that's more comfortable for you. But lengthen through the spine so the crown of the head is being magnetized forwards. Just noticing that lovely deep opening along the back of your left leg. So today, we're going to be doing some stretches as well as strengthening moves for the back of the muscles, the back body muscles. Okay, bring the hips forward again. And this time you're going to lift the back knee up and step the back foot forward to the top of the mat and fold down over your legs. But in fact, before we go into a ragdoll fold, we're going to do a half forward fold. So bring your hands onto your shins just beneath your knees and then lift the head and shoulders up away from the floor. So you're making this bit of a right angle really with the body, isn't it? So hands on the shins. You can soften the knees a little bit because it's better to have the knees soft rather than pressing the knees and locking them back. So maybe knees a little soft here. Now straighten your arms and then lengthen along your spine. So again, crown of the head reaching forward, tummy of course lifting up. So we want to try and again get as much deep stretch as you can into the back of your legs. So if you just rock a little bit of weight over the front of your feet onto the balls of your feet, just a little bit of weight onto the balls of the feet, you'll probably notice then that the stretch goes a little higher up your legs. That's where the hamstrings are connecting onto the back of your hips. Just take one more slow deep breath here in this right angle. And then fold forward into a deep ragdoll fold. So relax the head, the neck, the shoulders towards the ground. And you can have the knees bent if you wish. And if you want to, you can hold opposite elbow. This will take you into a more deeper stretch just by crossing the arms or holding the elbows. And let your head hang heavy here. Again, still have a little bit of weight on the front of the feet. Using gravity again just to help decompress the spine. So you can feel all this space that you're creating in your spine between the vertebrae. Just take another couple of breaths in and out here. Head nice and heavy. Just let the head just fall away from the neck. Lovely. Bring your hands onto your shins again. Come and make that right angle. So lifting the head and chest away from the legs. Just find the length along your spine. Arms straight, spine straight. A little bit of weight over the front of the feet again. Just feel that deep, deep stretch in the back of the legs. One more slow, deep breath in and out here. And then fold down deep over your legs again. Lovely. Now hands to the ground. Step your right leg back and lower the knee down to the floor. And then bring your hands up onto your left thigh. Just in case any of you were thinking we'd forgotten to do that side bend, we're going to do it now. You probably hadn't even noticed. So hand onto your left thigh. Again, just stacking the shoulders over the hips. Press down firmly through the left foot. And inhale, lift the arms up by your ears. Now lift the rib cage up away from the hips. So you get a little bit of length through the waist of your lower back. Hold on to the right wrist. Take a breath in and exhale, lean to your left. Again, there's the option to always place the hand down on that left thigh if you prefer. But try not to twist through your spine here. Imagine your back is up against the wall and both shoulders or both shoulder blades are still touching the wall. Lifting, lifting, lifting out of the lower back. Beautiful deep stretch for the right side of the body and into the lower back and into the hips. One more breath. Lovely. Lift the hands back up. Part the hands so they're just level with the shoulders or in line with the shoulders. And then bring the hands back down either side of the front foot. Tuck your back toe under. Lift up to down dog. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out here as you aim to really stretch through the back of the body. So all the way up the spine, up into the hips. And pressing the heels down so we open through the back of the legs. Okay, on your next inhale, lift the right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step the foot all the way forward between the hands and lower the back knee down to the floor again. Inhale, arms up by the ears. Cactus the arms, so we open that through the chest as the shoulder blades come together. Now sweep the arms forward in front of you And we're going to round through the upper back. And we're going to bring the arms back overhead. We've done this once before, I think. And then sweep the arms forwards, rounding through the upper back. So you're crossing one arm over the other, and then circling these arms back overhead, bringing them forward again, circle them back, bringing them forward, arching through the upper back. Last time, arms back. Last time, arms forwards. Bring the arms back, finding your cactus arms again. And then bring the palms together in front of your chest. Now lengthen up through the spine as you inhale. We're going to do a little side twist here. So bring the left elbow to the outside edge of the right knee and press the palms firmly together as you turn and look to the right. Now pressing the palms firmly together really helps to open up through the upper back. Taking a few breaths in and out. Spine nice and long. One more deep breath. And then bring both hands down either side of your front foot. Now tuck the back toe under if you haven't already. We're going to step that back foot forward next to the right. We're going to come into chair pose. So lower your seat down towards the ground and then lift the arms up by your ears. Just look down to your toes. You should be able to see all 10 toes. So the hips shoot back to the end of the mat. The tummy lifts up towards the spine. And again, just draw the arms back in towards the shoulders so we're not crunching through the neck. Take a couple of breaths. Again, switching on the back of our legs here, working our hamstrings and our calves. One more breath here. Now keep the arms where they are, but lift the heels up. So you're going to balance on the balls of the feet. Use your core to keep your balance. Again, waking up your calf muscles. One more breath. And then lower the heels and just take the arms back down alongside you, little aeroplane arms. The heels are down, arms reach back. Inhale, arms forward, heels lift. Exhale, heels down, arms back. 4 more like this. Inhale up, heels lift, arms reach. Exhale, back. Inhale, lift the heels, arms. Exhale, back. 2 more if you can. Well done, everybody. Inhale. Exhale. And then last time, inhale. Exhale, well done. Keep the heels down, but lift the arms back up to chair pose. Take a breath in, and then exhale, fold forward into ragdoll. Oh, I feel the back of your legs have worked a little bit there. Feel the heat that your back body muscles can generate in our bodies. Isn't it amazing? Our muscles, when they work, they create this heat. We're our own little combustion engine. Alrighty, from ragdoll pose, step back into plank pose. So both legs down the end of the mat, shoulders stacking over your wrists. We're going to come down to the floor. So we're going to take it nice and easy, lower the knees down first. Keep the elbows hugging in alongside your rib cage as you lower your belly and chest slowly to the ground. So we use your triceps to lower you to the floor. Okay. From here, we are going to bring the palms by your ears. So the elbows point out to the sides. Palms are by your ears. Now, all 10 toenails stay down on the floor, so you can press the toenails down into the ground if you wish. And then inhale, lift the head and shoulders up away from the floor. Now, squeeze your glutes just a little here. So we use, again, the glute muscles to help support and, support the lower back. Now, as you exhale, tap your right elbow towards the floor and lift the left elbow up just a little bit. And then change the other side, left elbow down. Right elbow lifts, and then change again, right elbow down, left elbow lifts. Again, just notice Which of your muscles are you using here? Keeping all 10 toes gently pressing to the ground. Left side. Right elbow. Left side. See if you can lift the upper body just a little bit higher. Right elbow. Left side. One more on each. Right elbow. Left side. Beautiful, well done everybody. Now we're going to have a little rest here. So stack your hands one on top of each other. Bring your forehead down to the ground or even bring your forehead onto your hands or even turn your head to one side. And at this point, I just want you to relax everything on your back body. Relax every muscle on your back body. But if we don't relax them in between, they tend to stay switched on, and we just want to have a little relax in between so we don't keep them permanently tight. Now we're going to come down to the floor a few times today, and whenever we come down onto our belly, we're going to do something like we've just done, something to help strengthen the back. It'll either be the upper back or the glutes or even the hamstrings. So just take another breath in and out here as we finally let go of any little last bit of tension in the back of your body. Wonderful. And then bring your forehead down to down onto your hands if it's not there already. Hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck the elbows in towards one another. Press back up onto your knees and find your downward facing dog once again. Alrighty, have a lovely deep stretch in down dog. Tummy drawing into the spine and the rib cage drawing back up into the spine. All right, one more breath in and out. Inhale, lift that left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it all the way forward between the hands and lower the back knee down to the earth. Inhale, lift the arms up by your ears. Bring the arms into cactus arms once again. So let the chest puff forward and up, and then sweep the arms forward as you did before. Cross one arm over the other, so we're rounding through the upper back again, and then circle these arms back over your head, sweeping them forward, round through the back. Arms come back and forward and back. Last time, coming forward, sweeping the arms back. Find your cactus arms once more. Beautiful. Bring the palms together in front of the heart. Lengthen up through the spine. We're going to do that little prayer twist again to the left side. So the right elbow touches the outside of the left knee. Press those palms firmly together. Lengthen through the spine and then gently turn your gaze. Look back towards that left elbow. Now we're trying to keep the rib cage off of the left thigh here. So it's very easy just to sort of slump onto that left thigh, but see if you can lift the rib cage away from that left leg, and maybe even the thumbs might even line up with the center of your chest. Doesn't matter if they don't do that today, but that's what we're aiming for. Just keep the hands firmly pressing together. Notice how when you engage the palms, notice what happens in your upper back. Just opens out. It's a lovely, creates a little bit of space. One more breath. Well done. Hands either side of your front foot. And then lift the back knee up. We're going to step the back foot forwards alongside the left. Coming into our chair pose again. So lower your hips down. Inhale, lift the arms up by the ears. Then just check you can see all 10 toes. So you're shooting your hips to the back of the mat, as if you're trying to just about to sit down on a chair. That's of course why it's called chair pose, Nicole. Keep the tummy lifting up towards the spine, the arms drawing back into the shoulder sockets. Lovely, one more breath using the back of those legs again. Can you feel them? Lift your heels up, so balance on the balls of the feet. Tummy drawing in towards the spine. One more breath. Lower the heels down, let the arms sweep back, aeroplane arms. Well done, 4 more of those. Inhale, heels lift, arms lift. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. And down, and one more time. Well done, everyone. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Keep the heels down, but lift the arms back up for chair pose. Tummy in, rib cage in. And then ragdoll pose, deep forward fold. Give the head a little shake. Walk both hands over to the outside of your right foot. So we have a lovely deep stretch down the left back. And then walk both hands over to the outside of the left foot. Drop the head down again. Feel that lovely deep stretch down the right hand side of the back. And then bring both hands forward again for your ragdoll pose. And from here, step back, finding plank pose once again. So from your plank pose, your shoulders are stacked over the wrists, heels kick back, tummy lifts. So it feels as if you're sucking the front body up into the back body. So the tummy lifts, the heart lifts up into the back of the body, your thigh muscles lift up into the back of your hamstrings. One more slow deep breath. And then lower the knees down to the floor. Keep the elbows alongside your ribs as you lower your belly and chest down to the earth again. Okay. Now this time we're on the belly. We're going to do locust pose, another back strengthening posture. So we take your legs wide for this one. So take the feet as wide as the mat. And we're going to take the arms alongside you with your palms down towards the floor. So have the palms on the floor to begin with. Now, as you inhale, lift the head and shoulders, keep the feet on the floor, but lift the head and shoulders up away from the ground. Squeeze the glutes here gently. And then if you want to, you can let the hands float up. So you're reaching back with the fingers. So this is, of course, engaging the mid and upper back body muscles to help lift the front body up off the floor. So your neck is nice and long. Squeeze your triceps towards one another. Now, if you want to, you do not have to, but if you want to, you can lift the feet up as well. So you're floating like you just jumped out of a plane, a parachute position. Keeping breathing, reaching to the balls of the feet. So I like to spread my toes here and really push through the balls of both feet. One more breath. And then everybody lower everything back down to the ground. Make that little pillow again with your arms, so you're stacking the hands on top of one another. And bring your forehead down onto your hands. Now take your knees nice and wide as the mat, but bring your feet together. So you're making like a sort of a triangle shape really with your legs. So knees are as wide as the mat, but the feet drop in and touch one another. Now we're going to keep the forehead on the ground or onto our hands. And we're going to lift the knees and feet up off the floor 10 times. So give it a go now. Lift the knees, lift the feet, and then lower. Lift, and lower. Lift, and lower. We're having a little pause as we lift it up. So pause just as you lift, and lower. 5 more. 3, 2, and last one. Lovely. Okay, lower the feet down, bring the knees towards one another, hands underneath the shoulders, and press back up into your downward facing dog. It is amazing how warm activating the back, I think, makes us feel. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling warm today. Okay. Inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it all the way forward between the hands. Now kick the back heel away from you. You're going to come up to high lunge. So arms by your ears. Plug the arms back down into the shoulders and draw your rib cage back into the body so you're not flaring through the front ribs. Now bring the palms together down in front of your chest and lift your front heel up off the ground. So this is an option. You do not need to lift the heel up, but if you do lift the heel up, you'll really feel how it's starting to use the back muscles of the right leg, so your calf, your hamstring. Lovely. Now keeping the heel lifted, if you have lifted it, keep the heel lifted. Sweep the arms out to the side, bring them up overhead as you inhale. Exhale, hands down in front of your heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, down. Inhale, of course, your tummy is tucking towards the spine. Exhale, down. One more time, inhale, lifting the arms up. And exhale, down. Lower the heel to the ground if you haven't already. Now we're going to lean forward over that front leg. Keep the tummy lifting towards the spine. Now you can just stay here, hands in prayer, or if you want to, you can reach the arms back for aeroplane. Just decide which one's best for you. Tummy is lifting up, and we're hovering over that front thigh. One more slow, deep breath. Lovely, well done everyone. Hands down either side of the front foot, finding pyramid pose now. So we straighten the front leg, and you just hop that back foot up the mat, just maybe 3 or 4 inches, just so you have a shorter stance. Now the left toes are pointing out to the left, and the left heel is just tucked in towards the center of the mat. And then square your hips up, because there's a tendency of your right hip to have slipped forward there. So just see if you can square the hips up. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, let's fold down over that right leg. Let your head just melt away from the neck again. Now press down through the ball of that front foot or the base of the big toe. Again, noticing how when you press down through the base of the front big toe, how you really deepen the stretch along the right leg. One more breath. Now bend the front knee a little bit, walk your hands forward towards the top of the mat. We're going to come into standing splits. So if you rest on your fingertips, suck the belly up to your spine, and then push off that back leg and lift the left leg up as high as you can. So you're in these standing splits. Now spread through the left toes. So you're pressing through the left ball of the foot. So you've got a long line of energy shooting up through that left leg. Now take a breath in. And then as you exhale, we're going to bend both knees and tap the left knee onto the back of that right calf. So you sort of crouch down a little bit. So the left knee touches the back of the right calf. Now press through that right foot as you then extend and straighten both legs. So we do this a few times. Knee taps the back of the calf, little crouch down, press through the right foot, straighten the legs. And again, tapping the knee, straighten, knee tap, straighten. A couple more times, really push through that right foot to straighten both legs. One more time, knee tap and straighten. Lovely. Now lower your legs so it's level with your hip. Come up onto your fingertips so both arms are straight, making this sort of strange kind of T shape with your body. Square your hips up again and have your left toes pointing down to the floor. Just take a couple of breaths. And using the right leg muscles here, particularly the glute and the hamstring, to hold this body in position. One more breath. And then step the left foot to the end of the mat. Hands walk back alongside you or underneath your shoulders. And then step the right leg to the back of the mat for plank pose. Nice strong plank. Take a breath in. Exhale, knees to the earth. Elbows hugging alongside your ribs. And slowly lower yourself down. So use your triceps to help lower you down to the floor. Okay. Bring your hands again to that little pillow. So hands are stacked. We are going to this time. So have a look. Oh yes, this is one of my favorites. Turn all 10 toes out and the heels in. So your heels are facing in towards one another and all 10 toes are pointing out to the side of the mat. Now keep the forehead on the ground, but lift your legs up. Just let the legs float up just an inch or two. And again, squeeze your glutes. Tap your heels together 10 times. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the legs down. Take a deep breath in and out. And again, let the legs just float up an inch or two. 10 heel taps. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brilliant. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders as you lower your legs down. Tuck the toes under and press back up into downward facing dog. Okay, let's do the other side. Inhale, left leg lifts to the sky. Exhale, step it forward between the hands. Kick the back heel away from you. And then come up to high lunge. Arms lifting up by your ears. Just find your balance. Arms plugging into the shoulder sockets. Tummy drawing in. Then if you want to, lift the front heel up. Oh, just need to rearrange my feet. Oh, that's it. Lift the front heel up. Palms together down in front of your heart. And then sweep the arms up and overhead as you inhale. Exhale, palms down in front of your heart. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Last time, inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, down. Keep the hands in front of the heart. Lower the heel down. And then lean forward over that left leg. Again, you can keep the hands together in prayer position or reach them back for little aeroplane arms. Now, again, option, you can lift the heel up here if you wanted to add a little challenge, but you don't have to. One more breath. Lovely. Lower the hands down either side of the front foot. Pyramid pose, straighten the front leg, and hop the back foot up the mat, about 3 or 4 inches again. Heel comes into the center, back toes point out to the side. Square your hips up. Take a breath in as you lengthen through your spine. And then exhale, fall down over the left leg. Hips are squared. Lovely deep stretch for the back of that left leg. One more breath. And then bend the front knee, walk your hands forward slightly. We're making our way to standing splits again. So hands are walked forward, hop up onto that front leg and lift the right leg up as high as you can. Spread through the right toes. So again, send some energy out through the ball of that right foot. And then crouch down low, tap the right knee to the left calf. Drop the hips as you do this. Inhale, push through that left foot. Straighten both legs. Exhale, tapping. Inhale, push through the left foot. Exhale, tap. Inhale, pressing. Exhale, tap. Inhale. Exhale. Don't forget to drop the hips, just a little low crouch. And then power through that left foot to straighten the legs. Knee tap. Straighten up one more time. Straighten up. And then lower the right leg so it's level with your hip now. And straighten both arms. So if you come up right onto the top of your fingertips, so the chest is lifted away from the floor, square your hips up again and back toes point down to the ground as you press through that right heel. Take a few breaths. Now the back of our left leg and glute is doing the work, strengthening up here, holding the body in this position. One more breath. And then lower the back foot down to the ground and step the left foot into plank pose. Okay, shoulders over the hands. Press the heels back away, front body lifts up into the back body. And then lower the knees to the earth. Hug the elbows alongside your ribs and lower yourself down. Now keep the top of the toes on the floor again. And this time bring your hands by your shoulders. So just underneath the shoulders. Elbows hugging in alongside your ribs. And as you inhale, lift the head and shoulders up off the floor And if you want, you can let your hands float up as well, or you can keep them down on the ground if you wish. Either option, just gently clench your glutes once again, lengthen out along your spine so the back of the neck is nice and long. So you're looking forward and down, not looking straight ahead because that will crease your neck up. You want to keep the back of the neck nice and long. Try and lift the shoulders up a little bit higher, lift the elbows up a little bit higher. Again, notice which of your muscles are working. All 10 toes are pressing into the ground. Couple more breaths. Lovely, lower back now. Make that little pillow with your hands again. Rest your forehead on your hands. Take your feet, or your legs rather, nice and wide as the mat. And then bend your knees so the feet touch again. So your knees are wide and the feet are touching. And then as we did before, lift the knees up off the floor and then gently pulse the feet up to the ceiling 10 times. So 10, 9, 8, 7, knees stay up all the time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely. Lower the knees back down, release the feet to the floor. Just walk the knees level so they're now in line with the hips. And then hands underneath your shoulders. And guess what? Press back into child's pose. Hips to heels, arms reach forward, forehead down to the ground. Just take a few breaths here as your spine just molds over your thighs. Okay, not for too long because I've got some lovely stretches coming up for us. So one more breath here. And then come up onto all fours. Just going to walk the knees forward towards your hands and then lower your seat down to the floor. Swing your legs forwards. I'm going to come down onto your back. Do reclined pigeon pose. So bring the right ankle to the left knee or just below the left knee and flex your right foot so the toes are pointing up to the sky. Now, if you can, lift the left knee towards you. I know that's not something everyone can do. So if you want to keep the left foot on the floor, that's fine. You can just press that right knee away from you. But if you can lift the left knee up off the floor, great. Hold the back of your left thigh or even your shin in your hands. And just one tip here, your left knee may well want to sort of drop in towards the center line of your body. Don't let it do that. Try and keep the left knee in line with your center of your left chest. And then gently draw that left leg in towards you. Deep stretch through the right leg. Couple of slow, deep breaths. All right, release the hands away from your legs, but keep the legs in that position. Don't change your legs. So keep the left foot up off the floor if that's where you are. And then we're going to drop the legs to the left. So maybe your right foot is going to land on the floor. Hopefully it does. The right foot touches down. And bring your arms into cactus arms. So this is a good stretch for the outside edge of your right leg, but also into the gluteus medius, so that middle glute muscle that sits just beneath the gluteus maximus. Now, personally, I find that sometimes my right knee wants to drop towards the ground, towards my elbow. But I find for me, it's a deeper, better stretch if I keep my right knee pointing up towards the ceiling. So see what is the best position for your knee so you feel the deepest, juiciest stretch you can into the outside of the right hip and right thigh. Just take another couple of breaths. Lovely. Now lift the knees back up to center. Uncross that right leg. We're going to do the pigeon pose, recline pigeon on the other side. So let's lower the feet down from the left ankle, so onto right thigh or right knee. Flex the left toes so they're pointing up towards the sky. and then draw the right knee in towards you if that's where you're going to go. Then of course reach the hands, either hold the back of the thigh or even onto the shin, and just check again that that right knee is in line with the center of your right chest. Keep the left toes flexed towards the ceiling, and just notice if this stretch feels any different on this side than it did on the other. Maybe you might be a little bit tighter on one side. We'll try and keep your sacrum down on the floor, so perhaps pressing down through your lower back. Another couple of breaths and then out, beautiful deep stretches. And keep the legs where they are, but bring the arms into cactus arms. And then when you're ready, drop the legs over to the right hand side. So this time maybe the left foot comes onto the floor. Right knee drops over to the right as well. And again, play where the right, or find the right angle for your left knee. So as if mine is pointing up, but sometimes letting the left knee drop down towards the ground, towards that elbow, also just opens up a different stretch as well. So what do you need today? One more breath. And then lift both knees back up to center. Place the right foot down on the floor, uncross the left, and slide your legs out into Shavasana. Arms down alongside you, palms turned up. Make any little adjustments so you feel nice and comfortable. Close your eyes if you are happy to do so. Let your feet just drop out to the side. And this is a full relaxation now of your back body. So in your mind's eye, take a little journey from the back of your heels and draw your awareness up the back of your body, and consciously every time you pass through an area, just relax and let go that area as much as you can. So now is the time to switch off the back of the body. Just feel the whole body feeling super heavy, sinking into the ground. Now you are very welcome to stay here for longer if you have some time, so please stay here as long as you're able to. Or otherwise, if you would like to move, let's just draw the knees in towards the chest, hold the top of each knee and hug the knees down, so a little stretch through the back. And let the knees then just lift up away from the chest. Keep the hands on the knees, but we're just going to rock side to side. Just massage, get some blood flow into the back of the body, or the back anyway. And then gently place the feet down on the floor, roll over onto one side. And then from there, just very slowly, carefully press yourself back up and find any seated position that feels right for you today. With shoulders stacked over the hips, hands together in prayer position. Relax the shoulders down. And again, if you're happy to, close the eyes. And just relax all the muscles in your face and in your neck, your shoulders. But keep the spine lifting up out of the pelvis. And just allow a feeling of complete peace and ease to wash through you. Peace and ease. And may the peace of yoga stay with you. I wish you peace in your heart. I wish you peace in your mind. And I wish you peace in your body always. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. And when you're ready, slowly coming back up. Maybe having a little stretch, a blink, a yawn, a roar. Whatever you need to do. There we go, just turn the recording off.